boy back once again with another sport topic. I'm here to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about what I feel is probably the best duo in the whole AFC South, potentially one of the best duos in the whole AFC, if not in the whole entire NFL. We're going to talk about these cornerbacks. We're going to break it down before we get in there, like I've been telling y'all before. If you liking the content, man, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you watching the videos. Make sure you commenting on all the videos. You liking all the videos. You sharing all the videos on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Any type of social media platform you use, make sure you share it on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The link in the description below. And we trying to get this channel growing, man. We on the race to 6,000. I need y'all help to get me to 6,000. We almost there. I need y'all help to get me to 6,000. The NFL season is right around the corner. We about to end of the NFL season is right here. We on the cusp of it. The NFL season is about to be on the way. So you know the videos are dropping, the lives are dropping, the shorts are dropping, the videos is dropping. So I need y'all to help me get to 6,000. I really, really appreciate that. Like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend, and let's get your boy 6,000. I really, really appreciate that. Now, let's talk about these DBs, and like I said, more specifically, let's talk about the corners. This Derek Stingley and Steven Nelson duo, I believe, is potentially the best duo in the whole AFC South. Potentially one of the best duos in the AFC, if not the whole entire NFL. We're gonna break it down because like I said, last year, Derek Stingley, as a rookie, coming in, only was able to play 9 games. And last year, he had a good rookie season. He was out there. He had 5 pass deflections for the season. He had 1 interception. He allowed only 26 catches. Only 26 catches in his 9 games. Gave up 306 yards, averaging 11.8 yards per catch. Like I said, and only averaging 2.8 catches per game. Only 2.8 catches per game. Was targeted 18% of the time. In coverage, he was graded at a +5. He was graded at a +11.5. Gave up no touchdowns all season. The most targeted cornerback last year to give up 0 touchdowns all season. Quarterbacks throwing against him only threw 56.5% with a quarterback rating of 76.5 throwing up against him. Steven Nelson, on the other hand, Steven Nelson had 7 pass deflections, still only 1 interception. He gave up 32 catches for the season for 389 yards, averaging 12.2 yards per catch, giving up 2.4 catches per game. Gave up 2 touchdowns last year. He was graded at a +5 from a coverage standpoint. He was targeted 13.5% of the time. Now, quarterbacks throwing against him did throw at 60.4% and had average quarterback rating of 95.2. So that needs to work on a little bit. But like I said, amongst each other, they were only giving up 5 catches a game. They were only giving, against the 2, they only gave up 5 catches the whole game. And to put some of these numbers in perspective, Sauce Gardner, who was an All-Pro last year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, he was targeted 15.5%. Less than Stingley. Stingley was targeted 18% when he was on the field. Steven Nelson was targeted 13.5% when he was on the field, and Sauce Gardner was only targeted 15.5%. But Sauce Gardner did only give up an average of 1.4 catches per game, but he was only targeted 15% of the time. So Derek Stingley, when he was on the field, was targeted more than Sauce Gardner. Steven Nelson, not as much. Now, that was last season with Lovie Smith being in mostly zone, really just not out of scheme. And you seen when D'Amico Ryans was brought here, D'Amico Ryans, looked at Stingley, pointed to him, talked about him and Petrie and things like that in his press conference, like things that he wants to do with them. And D'Amico Ryans has stated that he is on board and also his plan to use Derek Stingley a lot in one-on-one coverage and to see him match up against the one-ones. Remember, that's what Lovie Smith told Derek Stingley when we draft him. How about we have you on the #1 receiver all game? And really, outside of that Denver game against Cortland Sutton, that was the only game he did. Now, I know a lot of people point at that game because he did have a tough game that game. I think that game was more so an equally battle. One, they started throwing the flags really early on in that game with him. When he was one-on-one, the referees kind of set the tone of the game by pulling the flags early and was giving him holding calls and pass interference calls. And that's why Derek Stingley had to change his approach. And even though he started changing the approach, still allowed no touchdowns. I think he had like 2 pass deflections in that game by itself. The one that was in the end zone, he had another one on Cortland Sutton. Now, Cortland Sutton did get some catches on him. Now, Cortland Sutton is 6'4", 6'5" receiver, like 215, 220 pounds receiver. He's a big body guy. Darius Stingley a little bit smaller than that, and Darius Stingley is more so fast cover corner. Like I said, he was graded plus 11.5% on cover skills. So I think that it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and that was a tough matchup. But I do think he battled because I know a lot of people talk about some of the plays he had in that game. He played, in my opinion, dealing with the circumstances he was dealing with the flags, and the referees said the tone early on that, hey, I can't use my hands, I can't jam them, I can't do all these things because the referees pulling these flags early, basically setting the tone of the game. He had to step back and have to play a little bit different and still allow no touchdowns. He still played pretty well. And Steven Nelson, I know a lot of y'all gonna stop listening to the radio. Square business. Y'all gonna stop letting them people hype y'all and gas y'all up. Because I know a lot of people, when Steven Nelson had his whole issue about he wanted to get paid, and I didn't like the way he was going about it, tweeting out the sweater vest when it comes about Nick Caserio, and also talking about Damian Pierce. We took the picture with Hannah's twin sister, talking about cringe and stuff like that. He was a little tripping. When he got to 2 days and got to training camp, he's actually been the best corner on the field. He's made plays every single day at practice. He's constantly making plays at practice. If it's interceptions, if it's tackles in the backfield, if it's forced fumbles, if it's pass deflections, he's getting his hands around all the footballs. He's making a lot of plays. I know a lot of people up there hyping Shaq Griffin. Oh no, we got Shaq Griffin. We good. Let Steven Nelson go. Cut Steven Nelson. Trade Steven Nelson. Y'all tripping, bro. Steven Nelson needs to get paid. Steven Nelson needs to get paid because I do think him on the opposite side, Darius Stingley, because I do think Darius Stingley is going to play much better as a rookie. Again, 0 touchdowns. He gave up 0 touchdowns all year. He's the most targeted cornerback last year to give up no touchdowns. The most targeted cornerback last year to not give up a touchdown. Like, come on, man. And you have him paired up on the opposite side with another guy because Steven Nelson only gave up 2 touchdowns last year. Steven Nelson only gave up 2 touchdowns last year and played 2 more games. He played in 15 games. Stingley only played in 9. Steven Nelson played in 15. Really, Steven Nelson, to be fair, actually had a better season than Darius Stingley because of the amount of games that he played. He played 6 more games than Darius Stingley, and only gave up 6 more catches. Only gave up 6 more catches. Now again, like I said, that the opposing quarterbacks throwing 60% versus him and having a quarterback rating of 95.2. That's not good. That he needs to clean up. But I think we could attest some of that to Lovie Smith and the way Lovie Smith called the defenses and things like that. I think D'Amico Ryans is going to clear it up. Not to mention, you got Will Anderson coming off the edge, hopefully fully healthy, at least playing the majority of the season. And Jonathan Grenard coming off the other side of the edge. You got Petrie in the backfield. You got Petrie behind him. You got Jimmy Ward behind him. And I think that's going to take off a lot of pressure. Now, as we seen in the preseason, Desmond King ain't been looking like Desmond King. Like the last 2 years with Desmond King has been well, especially in playing in the slot, and also him stepping in, playing playing the secondary corner role when he needed to be. What we seen in this preseason, we haven't. And I made this assumption last year when we was talking about Darius Stingley, that we might not have been playing the best defense for Darius Stingley, but what if we were playing the best defense for the rest of the guys on the team, the rest of the cornerbacks and safeties? Maybe that was helping them because the secondary last year was top 10. Like we were top 10 in passing. I think we were either 10th or 9th in passes allowed and pass yards allowed. And it might have benefited. It might have been a detriment to Darius Stingley. Well, not the best situation. I ain't gonna say detriment. Not the best situation for Darius Stingley, but also a little bit, helped out the other guys a little bit. I wonder if Desmond King falls in that line because maybe this defense here better suits Darius Stingley. Maybe also better suits Steven Nelson, but it hurts Desmond King. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Lovie Smith was better suited for Desmond King, and that's the reason why Desmond King played the way he played for the last 2 years, and we're not seeing it so far in the preseason. But again, it is the preseason. I want to see how things work throughout the regular season. Also, because in my live stream, shout out to my boy Wink, because my live stream, we were talking about pass deflections and pass interceptions because people asked, do I think how Petrie will have more interceptions, and what about how the interceptions will go? And I'm like, well, I know the franchise. I know that Dante Robinson as a rookie had 6 interceptions. Now I know that was the most interceptions by a rookie, but I did not know if that was the most interceptions by Texans, and it's not. The most interceptions in a single season was in 2003 by Marcus Coleman. He had 7. Quinn Demps in 2016, Dante Robinson, his rookie in 2004, both tied for second with 6. And then Jalen Petrie and Aaron Glenn are tied with third with 5. Jalen Petrie last year, and Aaron Glenn did it twice in 2004 and in 2005 and in 2002 had 5 picks. That's why I said that 2004 season, you had Dante Robinson as a corner having 6 picks. You had Aaron Glenn as a second corner having 5 picks, and then you also had Marcus Coleman playing the safety. I know he had picked that season. I don't know how many. I don't have his numbers for 2004. I know his most picks for the Houston Texans. The most picks in Houston Texans history is 7 in a single season, and that was 2003. But Marcus Coleman was the safety after we drafted Dante Robinson. We moved Marcus Coleman off the second cornerback spot and moved him up to the safety and had Dante Robinson starting as a corner. That's why I said 2004 secondary. People don't talk about it. I think that's the best secondary that we've had. I know people want to talk about J-Joe and Kareem and Honey Badger back in 2018, and then also you got 2016. You got the 2016 season 2. We have AJ Bouye in the mix. I do think that 2014 with Aaron Glenn, Marcus Coleman, and Dante Robinson, even though D-Rod was a rookie, I do think that was the best cornerback and best secondary that we had so far. I do think that this season can and will eclipse it, and I think this duo right here not only will eclipse that, but also be one of the best duos and most dangerous duos from a cornerback standpoint in the NFL this whole 2023 season. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.